Listen up, 49ers. I'm here to help. What's up? Welcome to Quality Control. I am the quality control coach for the 49ers. They don't pay me, they don't acknowledge me, but I'm in the building and they have to listen to me. Or they don't have to listen to me, but they choose to. And as long as I have their attention, I might as well give them some helpful tips because I know ball, unlike all the rest of you. You know what I mean? Especially them. So I'm going to be here. I've always wanted the Niners to win. You know what I mean? Always pulling for them. Want the best for them. And so I'm going to graciously share all of my great insights that I get on my own. No one helps me. I just think of these things and then I share them with the 49ers and they win. Why? It's been a question. How are the Niners so good? Why are they 10-4? I'll tell you why. Because quality control has been outstanding this year. Coaching's been good. Quality control's been even better. And I think that's reflected with the product on the field. It's also reflected in this week's sponsors, starting with 1-800-CONTACTS. As I've been telling you, I need to wear contacts. I have a messed up left eye. It just doesn't see that good. I'm squinting. I've been squinting my whole life. I went to an eye doctor one time. He said, "Why is your left eye not lazy?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "If you don't wear contacts, it's going to be lazy one day." And you know what? It's still not. But you know what? 1-800-CONTACTS has my back. For over 30 years, they've been the leader in online contact lens delivery. They offer fast, free shipping. They have free returns and exchanges. They provide a way to renew your contact lens prescription from home with their online vision exam. They got a best price guarantee. Man, they got extra discounts for new customers on their site. They got it all. Getting contacts doesn't have to be a hassle. Let 1-800-CONTACTS get you the contact lenses you need right now. Order online at 1-800-CONTACTS.com or download the free 1-800-CONTACTS app today. We're also brought to you by Fabletics. Again, if you were checking me out, as I know you guys were checking me out on Sunday at that game, I was dressed in that really nice forest green blazer. I had the matching chinos. It was all Fabletics. They hooked it up. Thank you very much, Fabletics. I liked the way I looked. I liked the way I felt. I feel like my coverage was better because I was in a more formal attire, but at the same time, I could have ran a 40 in like 4.51. I probably could have smoked Ricky Pearsall is what I'm trying to say. At least Ricky with the PCL injury. So if you want to run fast while looking good, get Fabletics. Fabletics already has amazing deals, but right now they're running their biggest sale of the year on top of that. And I've got an exclusive offer just for you. 80% off everything when you sign up as a VIP. Head to fabletics.com/Cohn and sign up as a VIP to get 80% off everything. It's only available through my link, so go to fabletics.com/Cohn to sign up as a VIP and get 80% off. That's fabletics.com/Cohn. All right, this is the Quality Control Show. This is the only show where someone addresses the 49ers directly. I'm not talking about what they should do. I'm telling them what they should do. And if you have suggestions, feel free to put them in the chat box and as super chats, and I'll read them out to the Niners too. So let's start with the defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. What does he got to do against Jonathan Taylor and Phillip Rivers? Well, it seems to me the number one issue they got to handle is Taylor. Phillip Rivers, if he could hand off every single play in this game and never pass, I'm sure the Colts would be just fine with that. So you got to stop Jonathan Taylor. And in this last game, the Niners couldn't stop Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears or any running back on the Titans. So clearly, you got to Sam Okwanu coming back. You got to play different players. Tatum Bethune coming back. Tour Gross Matos coming back. See who can actually hold up against the run because it's not Cleveland Farrell or Keon White at the end. But I think like some schematic formational adjustments could work as well. Like, what do we know about Phillip Rivers? What do we see in his first start? He didn't throw down the field at all. And the Niners said that they assume that he can. I don't assume that he can. If he could, he would have. They have Alec Pierce. They have Michael Pittman. They have guys who can go and get the ball down the field, but Rivers doesn't seem like he can get it to him. So if your number one priority is stopping the run and you're facing a quarterback who gets rid of the ball quickly and doesn't throw it deep down the field, then how should you line up on defense? I mean, probably a 5-man front to be as strong against the run as possible. But then with your safeties, seems to me that whether you want to do split safeties or single high, doesn't matter, switch it up. But there's no reason to line up a safety more than 10 yards off the ball, off the line of scrimmage. I mean, you could put him at 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. The way I would think about it is you have a 9-man box at all times, no matter how you're configuring the safeties. Because why would you put him why would you have a free safety 20 yards off the ball? For what? You know, Phillip Rivers is going to throw the check down to the tight end or throw a screen to the running back or the quick out to the wide receiver. That's what he's going to do. So safeties real close to the line of scrimmage, no matter if they're splitting the field or there's one deep and you got one at the line of scrimmage. They're real close. That's where you start. And then do you bring pressure? Because you have the worst pass rush in the league. And that's not your fault. That's Jed's fault. He didn't want to really give you anything at the deadline. So do you bring pressure? 16 sacks in 14 games. You've really decided, no, you're not going to bring pressure. You're going to hang back and bend but don't break and don't give up. It's been working. And, you know, in this game, I also wouldn't bring pressure. It doesn't make sense to rush 5 and 6 against Phillip Rivers when he's so smart. You're not going to fool him. He's going to see the pressure. He's going to know where it's coming. He's going to know how to beat it. He's going to get rid of the ball quickly. It's kind of like facing Drew Brees. Kind of. And so if you know the ball's coming out quick, if you know he's not throwing down the field, instead of rushing 5, instead of rushing 4, why don't you rush 3 sometimes? That way you have 8 in coverage, and you can do 5 in underneath coverage, 3 deep. That way, if Phillip Rivers wants to throw underneath, which he does, quickly, those windows are really small. Those are risky passes, risky 6-yard passes. He's got to really thread the needle to make it 2nd and 4. That's what I would do. That's what coordinators did against Drew Brees for a long time. If you bring pressure, he's going to beat it. If you dare him to throw the ball quickly, he will, and he'll do it well. If you rush 3, you're daring him to hold the ball. You put the safeties at 8 yards off the ball, you're daring him to throw it down the field. This is what you have to do, because I don't know if he'll accept the dare, and if he does, I don't know if he can execute. So there's no reason to let Jonathan Taylor go off when you have a quarterback who can't stretch the field. That's kind of what happened in Cleveland, right? Like, you faced Quinshon Judkins. You don't have a good run defense, but you faced Quinshon Judkins. It was windy. You're facing Shedeur Sanders. You didn't respect him whatsoever. So you loaded the box, stopped the running back, and forced Shedeur Sanders to make throws he couldn't make. I think the same thing goes here. Obviously, Phillip Rivers is better than Shedeur Sanders. He's not going to take sacks, not going to hold the ball. But make him throw tough throws. Don't just give him easy underneath stuff in zone all day, because he'll kill you. If you rush 4 and played, standard cover 3, cover 4, and ask Phillip Rivers to dink and dunk his way down the field, he will, because the running back's going to average 6 yards a carry. It's going to be a tough matchup because the Colts have absolutely the personnel to win time of possession. And the Niners, when they are really good, their offense is sort of playing defense while playing offense, because the defense has been pretty bad against good teams. So Saleh, you owe me a nickel, 2 safeties in the box, 9-man box, and 3-man rush. That'll win the game for you. Okay, let's go for Kyle Shanahan. Advice for Kyle Shanahan. You watching? You listening? The thing I like about Kyle, is that you always listen to me. We are right here this season, man. We've been talking football. You know ball. I know ball. We both know ball together. You know what I'm saying? We like spitball. Anyway, what I want to say, Kyle, is you have had a great season as a head coach. 10-4. Wow. Terrific. As an offensive coordinator, I feel like you've been up and down. You were excellent last week. Let's keep it going, because what you were doing before the bye week, the Christian McCaffrey every other play offense, that's over. And I think you know it. I hope you know it. It can't come back this week, because if you make this game a competition between Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor, you're going to lose. No disrespect to Christian McCaffrey. What a career. What a player. What a competitor. What a receiver. But if he gets 25 carries and Jonathan Taylor gets 25 carries, you're going to lose. You got to use your personnel wiser. You have a wonderful, lovely, called a lovely playbook. It's terrific. You're a smart guy. You're a good coach. But one reason you haven't won the Super Bowl is your personnel usage. In the last Super Bowl, let's go. Can we? Is it a low blow to talk about the last Super Bowl? I mean, it was only 2 years ago, about 3. Let me get the box score up from the last Super Bowl because I think it's still blowing Brandon Ayuk's mind that it happened that way. I'm going 2023 postseasons. Okay, here we are. Let's look at what you did in this game. Christian McCaffrey, 8 catches. George Kittle, 2 catches. In the Super Bowl, George Kittle had 4 yards in the Super Bowl. Deebo Samuel had 11 targets and 3 catches. So in a game that you lost by 3 points, you could argue that your personnel usage was a huge reason you lost this game. I mean, 22 carries for Christian McCaffrey. He gave you 3.6 yards per carry. That was foreshadowing. That's what we get every week. Now, his longest rush was 11 yards, and he fumbled, and you stuck with him. Why? So this was just foreshadowing of what the next 2 years of the Niners offense is going to look like. Too much Christian, 22 carries, 8 catches. So 30 touches for Christian, 2 for George Kittle, and 11 targets for Deebo Samuel. Hard to win that way, and you almost did. Now, you did irreparable damage to your relationship with Brandon Ayuk. That's a different story. But please, man, you just won last week featuring George Kittle. Can you keep doing that? I don't understand why you don't sometimes. I mean, George Kittle is one of the all-time great players in the NFL, regardless of position. And you think like first ballot Hall of Famer, and he probably is. And then you look at his playoff. These are essentially playoff games down the stretch. You look at his playoff numbers. I mean, they're a joke. Let's look. Career, playoffs, George Kittle. So in the second Super Bowl, he had 2 catches for 4 yards. In the first Super Bowl, he had 4 catches for 36 yards. He's never had a 100-yard game in the playoffs. He's never had more than 5 catches in a playoff game. He's never had more than 7 targets in a playoff game. Kyle, that's on you. For the rest of the time that George Kittle is on the team and in his prime, your job is to get him the ball more than anyone else. You got it? More than Christian. I mean, Christian, he's going to get his carries and stuff, but George is the number 1 receiver on the team. It's not even a question. It's not Ricky. It's not Juwan. It's not Christian. It's George Kittle, dude. I still can't believe he had 4 yards. 4 yards in the Super Bowl? And he didn't, like, Brandon Ayuk still hasn't recovered from the fact that he only had what did he have? What do you have? He only had 3 catches. Hey, 3 catches, dude. I'd be pissed too. 3 catches for 49 yards. Still hasn't recovered. He may never recover. George Kittle had 2 for 4. And he's saying howdy after games? God love him. He could easily be upset. I mean, how would Travis Kelce act if he... I'm getting worked up. Kyle, it's real simple. You give the ball to George a lot. That's how you win the game. Don't mess around. A little Juwan. Third and 7. Yeah, sure. Ricky Pearsall, here and there. Not too much because he could get hurt. But it's George. It's been 9 years. You've had him for 9 years. I hope you figured it out now. George is the offense. He's the best player you've ever coached. Maybe Julio Jones was better. That's my advice. I'm going to get to Super Chats later. I'm going to roll. So hold on. Because I'm talking directly to these people. I got their attention. I don't want to go and then come back. So thank you, Kyle. Hope you took that in a good spirit. I'm just because I feel like you did it last week. I'm just reminding you, it's the George Kittle show. It's not Christian McCaffrey. It hasn't been Christian McCaffrey since I can tell you the last time he was the best player on the team. At some point 2 years ago. Now I got to talk to Ricky Pearsall. Ricky. We don't know your status yet. You didn't practice Thursday, Friday. I'm guessing best case scenario, you're questionable for this game. If not, out. And look, I'm not in your body. I don't know how it feels, but if you're questionable, it's a 50-50 thing. My advice to you as quality control, as your unofficial attorney, you got to play, man. You got to find a way to suit up and play in this game, even if you're not at your best. Because you know what? You know who would? Jawan Jennings. I mean, Jawan Jennings has missed 2 games this year. And he had multiple broken ribs. He had a messed up shoulder. He found a way to play. He still made an impact. He blocks. He catches touchdowns. You have missed 6 games already this season. And you missed it because you banged your knee on the ground. I'm not saying that doesn't hurt, but if you're the kind of player who can only play when you can hit 20, 21, 22 miles an hour and stop on a dime, then how valuable are you? Like, you were drafted to replace Brandon Ayuk, and you had some promising games last year, some good practices this offseason, and based on that, the Niners felt pretty good completely nuking their relationship with Brandon Ayuk and voiding his guarantees and essentially giving his job to you. And you might be better than Brandon one day. I mean, you're faster than him. So there is some upside there, but I mean, Brandon missed 4 games his rookie year and then missed no games his second year and then missed no games his third year and then missed 1 game his 4th year. And then in his 5th year, his knee exploded, catching a floater over the middle. You missed games last year because you got shot. Not your fault. Wow, what an incredible story. You're tough. This year, I mean, you're hurt throughout the offseason. You get injured week 4. You get injured week 14, 15. And it's like the hip drop tackle, that was dirty. That's not your fault. But the knee thing. Are you a track guy who only plays when you're at your absolute fastest? Can you help the team in any other way? Can you block? Are you really? Because it seems like the Niners have just gifted you this starting job. They didn't give Jawan Jennings a starting job. He had to earn it. He had to play through injuries. You don't. They don't want to pay Brandon anymore, so they needed someone to take his job, and it's you. But if you can't show in the next 3 weeks that you can consistently play football, hit the grass, hit the turf, bounce back up, and get back in the huddle, then what are they going to do? Can they get rid of Brandon? I guess that's over with. But do they have to spend another 1st round pick on a wide receiver? Like, how much have you really proven, Ricky? What do we know about you as a wide receiver? We know that you, when you're 100% healthy, you create some big time separation when you run routes. You're very tough to cover. But at the same time, it feels like we rarely see you win quickly. It's not like you're often the number 1 option in the progression. Doesn't seem like it. And if you are, it's like down the field. Where's that? Can you play split end, line up on the line of scrimmage, beat press coverage, run a slant over the middle, catch it, take a hit, bounce off it, get some yards after the catch? Can you do that? I mean, Kendrick Bourne can do that. Brandon Ayuk could do that. It seems like you get caught up in doing lots of moves at the line of scrimmage, being shifty, and it takes a while, and the timing's off with you and Brock. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I think we need a little less slick Ricky. I think what the Niners need is good old Richard. Good old Richard Pearsall. That's what they need, man. Blue collar Richard. Run up the field. None of this stuff at the line of scrimmage. Get the ball and go down. Know that you're built like me. If I was on a football field, which I'd never, I mean, are you kidding? If I was on a football field and I caught a ball, guess what I would do? I would go down lightly, not too hard on either knee because God knows. That's what I would do. And then in the offseason, I would get so strong because again, in this fantasy, I'm playing football in the NFL. So strong. Because, Ricky, you're good, but you're built an awful lot like Dante Pettis. And you're better than Dante Pettis, but your numbers aren't that much better. I mean, you have 3 touchdowns in 3 seasons, Ricky. Dude, you got to produce. You got to play. You can't miss a month every time they give you 7 targets because you hit your knee on the ground. You got to find a way to contribute if all you can do is run 18 miles an hour. Because you know who does? Juwan couldn't run. Maybe Juwan can run 18 miles an hour if he's 100% healthy. Maybe he's done it. I don't want to, but he's not that fast. He finds ways. If you're just one of these track guys who can only play when you're 100% healthy, then you're Slick Rick. It's a cool nickname, but with 3 touchdowns, I don't think you really get a nickname, not to be a jerk. But I think like maybe wait until you have 1,000 yards and $100 million contract before we start talking about Slick Rick. For now, Richard. Richie Rich. Ricardo. You could be Ricardo Pearsall, but you can't be Slick Rick right now. That's all I'm saying. And really, you could go, like we could call you, it's a mentality. You got to channel your inner Richard, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not taking your nickname from you because that's just a messed up thing to do. But I'm saying you have multiple parts, multiple identities, Ricky. And for now, you're not Ricky. You're not Slick. You're Richard. You're slightly French. You are a French Canadian from Montreal named Richard Pearsall. And you like poutine. You like hockey. You grew up playing hockey. That's your backstory. You dabbled with golf for a little bit because you could really, a little Happy Gilmore effect, but then you came late to football and you use that French Canadian hockey mentality on the field when you're blocking and going over the middle. That's you, Richard. Richard Pearsall. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now we got to talk Brock Purdy. Brock, you're playing well, man. You had a moment against Carolina. I'm not sure what that was. It was 3 drives. We don't need to talk about them. You know what happened. I know what happened. It was wild. You have these moments where you sort of think that it's kind of like Slick Rick, like that you are the baddest dude on the field. And I love that about you. I love that about Slick. That's why Slick Rick's doing 18 moves in one route because he thinks he's just, he thinks he's Justin Jefferson. I'm like, nah, man, can you just be Richard Pearsall? You think you're Josh Allen. You really do. And that's great. I guess every quarterback should at some point. But sometimes you make these like Superman hero ball plays that you don't have to against teams that you don't have to do that against. And there's some bad results because, look, just between me and you don't have the strongest arm. You make some cool plays, man. You got some nice physical traits. You're a good athlete, but you're not Josh Allen. And sometimes when you hold the ball a long time and try to force it down the field, you know what happens. We've seen it, interceptions and stuff. So now it's a tough matchup because you're not going to have the help of you're going against a good defense. You don't have a good defense. That's rough. You're going up against a good run game. You don't have a good run game. That's tough. It's Monday night. And so all these things kind of come together and compel you, Brock Purdy, to maybe start playing like hero ball Brock. And all I want to say is just don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do the hero ball thing. I know you think you might have to, but you don't. Don't be the reason if the Niners lose this game because Robert Saleh's defense gives up 300 yards on the ground to Jonathan Taylor and Phillip Rivers completes 80% of his throws because he's just rushing for and giving them wide open throws and zone deep, then that's on them. You can't be the reason they lose this game. You can't lose. You can't get outplayed by Phillip Rivers. And what Phillip Rivers is going to do is not play hero ball. I guarantee it. He might throw a pick if he's losing down 11 with 45 seconds left. That's how he always plays. Kind of like Fred White. He'll go down swinging. He's not the kind of guy who's going to go down looking at strike three. I love that about Phillip Rivers. But until then, he's going to make the right reads. He's not going to force it down the field. He might force it into coverage underneath, but he's essentially going to manage the game as well as he can. He did that last week. He almost beat the Seattle Seahawks, who might be the best team in the NFC, or maybe the Niners are. We'll see. The Seahawks are really good, plus they have a defense. The Niners don't. So, Brock, look at me. Just between us. Just manage the game, dude. Just manage the game. And you know what? You did that so well against the Titans and against the Browns. You did that especially well against the Browns. Great defense, better defense in Indianapolis. Do that again. Throw the ball away. Don't throw a pick. And I don't throw a pick. Do you know I bet you do, but I'm going to remind you, your numbers on Monday Night Football in your career. You, Brock, the highest, the highest pass rating of all time. This is what you do on Monday Night Football. 3 wins, 3 losses. 5 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions, 75 pass rating. Please, dude. It's not a coincidence. What happens is you're good and you want to prove that you're great. So you have a Monday Night Football game with the whole country watching, and you start doing stuff that you have no business doing. Forcing the ball down the field on first down, getting picked. Don't do that, please. Show the world how restrained you are. Show the world how grown up and mature you are. Play like Mac. Play like Mac with a few scrambles mixed in. You'll win. All you got to do is win. If you win, you'll get praised. If you lose, you'll get ridiculed for losing to Phillip Rivers. Sam Darnold beat him. Don't be a hero. Don't be a hero. You and Sam Darnold are similar. I'm not saying Sam's better than you because I don't know that he is, but he just beat the Rams. Can you do that? He was playing hero ball. I've never seen someone torch their reputation and build it back up in the span of an hour. I mean, in the third quarter, it's like, get this man off the field. He's exactly who we thought he was. By the end of the game, it's like, damn, that was one of the more impressive comebacks I've ever seen. Shout out to Sam Darnold. You're kind of clutch. He almost lost the game trying to be a hero. Then he brought it back and was the hero, there's a lesson there, Brock. If you try to be the hero, you lose. Just be one. That was stupid. Sorry. But yeah, if you throw 2 picks, it's over, man. People are going to really not like it. Be careful. This is not a gunslinging contest. This is going to be a game managing contest. And you have it in you. When you want to play like a 45-year-old accountant, you can do it. And that's what you got to do in this game. You cannot be channeling your inner Josh Allen. You got to be channeling your inner Phillip Rivers. You got to beat him in his game. And you're facing a tougher defense than him, and you're going to be one-dimensional because Christian's going to be giving you 2nd and 7 all day if you're lucky. I can't wait, Brock. This is what they pay you for, man. Rivers isn't getting paid. You are. You are. All right, one more. John Lynch. I don't even know if this is advice. Let's just have a talk. Let's have a chat, man. Come to my office. John, we got to talk. You have no bearing on the outcome of this game against the Colts. This is just big picture, man. Hey, shout out to you and the whole organization. You really set the bar so low this offseason. I don't know what you expected. I thought the way you were talking, you're going to win like 6, 7 games like last year. But no, 10 wins, could be 13. So you got us off your back. You probably got your employer off your back. Things were bad last year. You won 6 games, and you gave that contract to Brandon Ayuk, and people were upset. But you found a way to get out of the Ayuk contract. A little shady, but maybe that wasn't you. Maybe that was Jed and Pariah. Whatever. You found a way out of that. You got 10 wins. Things are looking bright for the future. But the thing is, I feel like, and you've mentioned this, you're sort of following the Rams blueprint for a quick reload. Rams went to the Super Bowl, won it. You lost. They won it, came back the next year, won like 5 games, got rid of a bunch of older stars who they had, not drafted, but acquired as like all in pieces, Jalen Ramsey, guys like that. Got rid of them, reloaded through the draft, got a bunch of new stars, and now they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league, although they just lost to the Seahawks. One of the best. I'm talking Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Jared Verse, Byron Young. They have multiple young foundational stars that will be there for a long time, and any team would want. So that's the Niners blueprint. Rams have done it really well, although, maybe the Niners would beat them again. I already beat them once. See if Brock could do it. You did things a little different, John. Like, you drafted your stars a long time ago. George Kittle, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, back to back to back, 3 drafts in a row. Then you trade for Trent Williams. You trade for Christian McCaffrey. That's essentially the core of your team, to use an awful word, the foundation of what you've been building the last few years. We thought that you were trying to build like the next generation, the foundation for the next generation. Man, I'm rhyming. Because we know Trent's got a year or 2 left, maybe a year left. Christian's kind of at the end. George isn't going to be here forever. And they're still carrying your team, those 3. Warner will come back, Bosa will come back, and they'll still be part of the foundation for a while. But those 3 I mentioned, they got 1 or 2 more years left. Eventually, you got to replace them. And that's why you paid Brandon Ayuk. Because him, along with Brock Purdy, were supposed to be 2 pieces. Another terrible 2 players, 2 foundational players for now and the future that would be here when they're in their mid-30s, and they would work together and they would grow together, kind of like, Steve and Jerry Rice. But Brandon's gone. So really, in the last 5-6 drafts, the only star you've taken who's still here is Brock. And if you're following the Rams blueprint, where are the stars? You drafted Mykel Williams, good player. Not a star. He's like a mid-level player, which every team needs. You need those Samson Ebukams. But he's sort of in that tier. Not Nick Bosa, not Fred Warner, not yet. I mean, Ricky Pearsall? Maybe. He's got a long way to go before he's Brandon Ayuk. Alfred Collins, Upton Stout. Good players, guys you want on your team, guys who will be here. Maybe one of them gets a second contract. Maybe. We'll see. The middle class of your team. You've really done a good job getting those depth pieces in that middle class, but you haven't drafted a star in so long. It's Brock. Brock's the last one. And before then, it was Brandon, and now he's gone. So you can't. The only reason you're really contending right now is because of the stars you drafted 7 years ago. The Seahawks and the Rams have these nuclei. I was going to say nucleuses, but I think it's nuclei of young players. You don't. Your nucleus of young guys is Brock. Ricky isn't necessarily in that. Is he going to get a second contract? Is he going to be healthy this week or ever? Who's in it? I don't know. You look at the best teams in the NFC, they have all kind of stars that they've been drafting. I mean, the Eagles, the Lions, the Seahawks. You're next, man. It's been so long. Can you do it? Or do you just draft middling players who fit the system? And if you can't, someone else got to step in and maybe help. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's Kyle making the decisions, but it's been so long. And now that you've paid Brock Purdy all this money, it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to go out and trade for stars, sign stars. It's either the stars are going to be you drafted them or you didn't. And look at the Chiefs. They had the same few stars for years. Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. Kelsey gets old, the whole thing falls apart. Now they look like they have to completely retool because they don't really have the next generation to take over. It was like Trent McDuffie. I mean, they don't have a running back. Rashee Rice is in and out. That's you minus the rings. Anyway, 10-4, 4-game winning streak. Could be the year. But it's because of the draft picks you made years ago. Still performing. So shout out to them. All right. Let's do some super chats. I hope you don't take it too personal, my advice. I mean, it comes from a good place and a place of love. Bill Kennedy says, you are Billy Mays, Howard Stern of content providers. Billy Mays here with another great deal. Aaron Lofton says, Grant, I don't know if you were trolling, but we should use your idea of putting Luke at fullback instead of expired juice. I just don't see what the fullback gives you. Juszczyk isn't a fullback. He's a tight end. Rathman was a freaking fullback. Allstott was a fullback. You got to run the ball to be a fullback. If you're just blocking, you're a tight end. And he's like a 240-pound tight end. And he's good for a 240-pound tight end. But you got other guys who are actual tight ends. I'm just saying. Juan Cortez says, you think our special teams will be the reason we go in for the playoffs? One of them. Also, the schedule. This team hasn't beaten a playoff team since Fred Warner broke his ankle. They took care of business this year. That's what they did. And you got to get credit for that because teams often don't. Rams lost to the freaking Panthers. You could look at a lot of good teams and look at some embarrassing losses on their resume. They don't have any embarrassing losses. They lost to teams that are better than them. They beat teams they're better than. They have to me, they're a second-tier team. I know my dad disagrees. Tom Walsh disagrees. A lot of people, you probably disagree, but 2-4 against playoff teams, 8-0 against non-playoff teams. Propa says, Grant, do you understand how funny it would be if this team got the number one seed, ended with a better record than 2023 and won the Super Bowl? I'm proud of this team, but they're a bit goofy this year. Yeah, man. I mean, I think it would be funny. And I think there'd be a lesson there. Like, the Niners are so certain that they can kind of like predict the future. It's our year. We know it. And if it doesn't happen, it's because the refs screwed us or there was something out of our control. They just decided before the year started, you know what? It's not our year. And then as the year went on, despite all the evidence to the contrary, they're like, nah. If you know ball, you understand it's not our year. And then, boom, look up 10-4. And all you got to do is keep winning. You keep the winning streak going and you're the number one seed. It'd be embarrassing if it wasn't so good. Slant Route Pod says Colts are 31st in passing D. Brock Purdy throwing 35 times. I bet he won't because when he throws a lot, he often loses and throws picks. It's usually like Brock in moderation is the best Brock. That's good. That's good information, though. Too Much Sauce says, who had more overall team drama, BA or T.O., dude? T.O. If you're not almost 40, you may not remember the T.O. experience. T.O. was Terrell Owens when Steve Young was the quarterback. Then he got hurt. Jeff Garcia took over. And I don't know, this was a long time ago, but Jeff Garcia decided he was going to throw to Terrell Owens as much as he physically could. In Jerry Rice's final game, Jeff Garcia completed 20 passes to Terrell Owens, and T.O. was born. He would come to the post-game like podium and badmouth Jeff Garcia routinely for not getting in the ball enough. Ayuk never did that. Ever. Owens was nuts. And like a team, what did Skip Bayless call him? Team obliterator? Ayuk didn't obliterate the Niners. He just left. Tony Vang says Niners can learn a thing or two from Cowboys on how they use Kevontae Turpin. Completely agree. The Cowboys have this really good returner, and they use him on offense because why wouldn't you use a weapon? Meanwhile, the Niners, and I asked Clay Kubiak about this. It's not his call, so whatever. But it's like, yo, you haven't had an explosive run all year. Your longest run as a team is 20 yards. You're 31st in yards per carry. Why not use this incredible return man you got, Sky Moore, once a game on offense, on an end around, on a screen? And he was like, oh, yeah, we have those plays up every week. It's just, they haven't been getting called. All right, Kyle, how about that, man? If you don't have Ricky Pearsall this week, you don't have a legit starting. I mean, you got Kendrick Bourne, but you could Mix in a little Sky Moore here and there. Why not? It's not like Demarcus Robinson's done anything this year. You feel me? All right, guys, check this out. A friend just introduced me to something I've honestly never seen before. It's called sports poker. In this case, it's football poker. There are versions for football, baseball, and soccer available now. It's super easy to learn, especially if you already know some poker. Here's how it works. You play sports poker while you watch a live game on TV. If your cards are lining up with what's happening on the field, then you have a good hand. You can bet whenever you want, like when there's a big play that helps your hand. And just like in sports, when someone bets, you call, raise, or fold. Watch out for bluffs. It's sports poker. Live sports energy fuels fun for friends and family. Sportspoker.com. You can get your football deck in time for the playoffs. Link is below. So you just get like a five card hand. You'll get stuff like a joker with this guy raising his hand. So like that's for a field goal. If you predict the drive's going to end in a field goal, you could put that down. Put a little wager down. You got another one here. You got the queen with the turnover. It's actually hella fun. A punt. Field goal. It's like all your favorite games in one. Check it out. I did. I enjoyed it. All right, hold on. It's time now for the Prize Picks segment of the week. Let me get it up on screen. I'm actually the best at the Prize Picks. People don't talk about it because they're jealous. Tom thinks he's the best, but I'm actually way better. No, actually, Tom's the best. But I'm the second best prize picker of all the people on my channel. And it's because I have a tried and true system. It's called going with your gut and not thinking too much about it. It works, I will say. So now it's on the screen. They're still doing the Joe Biden joke. I think it's funny. But I think it's going to be less than 157 for Phillip Rivers because I think the Niners are going to have a tough time stopping the run and he won't have to throw that much. Brock, on the other hand, let's say more. Because they're not going to run the ball well. Christian, no, you got less. Jonathan Taylor, easily more. Phillip Rivers, will he rush for a yard? Probably not. Brock Purdy, will he rush for... Ooh. I don't think he will, man. I'm going to say less for Brock scrambling. He's going to be on turf. He's going to be against a good defense. I think he's going to throw the ball away. I don't think he's going to be styling like that. Tyler Warren, hold on, receiving yards. George Kittle, man, you better have more than 67.5. I'll tell you that. You better. Flexing it, submitting it. Download Prize Picks. Use promo code Cohn, C-O-H-N. Play $5. Get 50 instantly in lineups when you use my promo code. That's my promo code. Arnell says, can run/CMC have greater rush success in the dome? Let's check it out. Christian McCaffrey. Splits 2025. Indoor, outdoor. Indo, outdo. Okay. Outdoors this year, he's averaging 3.47 yards per carry. That's not good. And he also has 7 touchdowns. That's outdoors. Dome, 2 games, 35 attempts, 112 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. I don't know, man. It's possible that Christian McCaffrey just isn't that good anymore. I've been saying that. We might need to see more evidence, though. I don't know if 14 games I don't know if the last 2 years is enough, guys. What do you think? Hasn't had a really great game in 2 years, but maybe this is the one against DeForest Buckner. Probably. Now, I didn't pick that in my prize picks because you know how I want to get it right. But it's possible that he's going to turn back the clock, or that the last 2 years have been meaningless. Possible. All right. I just did 45 minutes by myself. The quality has been controlled. The 49ers will win. And again, if you just tuned in, summary of advice I gave to the Niners today. Saleh, safeties at 8 yards off the ball. Rush 3, not 4 or 5. Flood those underneath zones. Force him to throw the ball down the field, please. Or play man. Force him to throw some deep passes because he can't, he won't. Kyle, don't make this a Christian McCaffrey game. Use someone else. And you know who that someone is named? George fucking Kittle. This can't be one of those 2-catch George Kittle days. It's got to be an 8-catch day. Like every day needs to be an 8-catch George Kittle day. Ricky, you got to play. Brock, you got to not be You can't play hero ball. Manage the game. Don't do the thing you always do on Monday Night Football, please. And John, you got to draft some stars. Not today. But no more of these complimentary players with the 11th pick in the draft, please. It's been 8 years. 6. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see if Ricky Pearsall practices today. Kyle's going to talk in like 3 hours. I got to do some Christmas shopping. Man, I love this holiday. What a great time. It's not like I procrastinated. No, not at all. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your holiday time off. I'm going to Indy tomorrow, and I'm so happy. I can't wait. Can't wait to go to Indy for 48 hours. Flight leaves at 5:30 in the morning. Love that. Me waking up at 3:30. Can't get enough of it. Show's over. I'm just thinking about how much fun I'm going to have this week. Holiday spirit. As if my life wasn't hard enough. 5:30 flight on a Sunday. I should have got the flight out today, but I wanted to save $200. Now I'm mad. That's the face of someone going to Indianapolis for 48 hours. I just did Cleveland. I already been to Indianapolis this year. Ugh. They got one steakhouse there. It's called St. Elmo. It's cool. I've already been. I'm going again. They got they got shrimp cocktail. Man, that came out. Pardon me. They got shrimp cocktail there. It's good. They put a lot of horseradish on it, and they give it to you with a smile. They're like, be careful. Okay. I like horseradish too. What does it taste? As you like it? Yeah, it tastes like horseradish. I'm crying. Loved it. I'm going to go back. Probably. I don't want to tell you where I'm going. Last time I got a death threat when I was in Indianapolis. Some guy said he had shooters. But he wasn't there. I think he lived in like Walnut Creek. I called the cops. I made a police report. But I'm still scared. What if he does? What if I'm walking into a trap? I mean, Mark Sanchez thought it was all good going to Indianapolis. And then, boom, he got into an altercation with the Uber driver. Never heard from him again. Pray for me. Bad things happen in Indianapolis. It's a tough spot. Is this on still? Am I still talking to the... Okay, I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. I'm super excited to do my job. What a season. 3 games left. Let's lock in.